We didn't see much of them in the webtoon, but we know for a fact that each and every one of them are looking for something in this story. They've been watching for so long, and that is finding a character to represent them in the stream itself, something that they call a sponsor selection. The player of the story has to choose between constellations that are interested in their power. Whether it's a female, male, or any gender, they will try to help and give power to that specific character, but some of those constellations have benefits and drawbacks to their support that they give to their fellow incarnations, like how the Black Flame Dragon gives the player a disgustingly powerful power boost, but the more the incarnation uses the power, the more he loses his senses, becoming a serial killer, or how Song Wukong will transform the player into a one-man army.
But yeah.
Here you go, my queen. I wish you the best day and a wonderful life, because I will protect you to the end.
Like, that's my arms. Yeah. Unfortunately, anyway, I'm gonna get a cup of tea.
But today, guys, we are not going to attack those topics, but we are going to talk more about Dokja and which constellation would suit him the best. Now, for probably the 4th time in any video I made about a manhwa with a novel background, I'm not caught up to anything related with novels. So if you're wondering how I know stuff, 1, I am someone that is really curious. If there's any spoilers about something, I have to look at it. And 2nd, I probably did read a couple pages of the novel, and I also probably spoiled myself trying to find information, but it didn't ruin anything in between me and the series of Omniscient Reader. Now, before I start, make sure to subscribe for more webtoon/manhwa content, and don't forget to follow me on Twitter for even more content. But now, let's see which constellation Dokja would choose when the time comes. At the start of the series, after the first scenario in episode 8 or chapter 9, we were introduced to only 4 of them. First one being the Abyssal Black Flame Dragon, the powerful leader of a group of constellation named Black Cloud. The only thing we know about him is of course the rewards you get when you accept him as a sponsor, and that he has the same personality than Kim Na-won, the only character that looked interesting at the start of the series, but you know what happened. So with that said, Dokja knew that he couldn't accept him because of the side effects alone of the agreements. Next, we have Uriel, or the Demonic Judge of Fire. At first, Dokja thought it would be a demon, which are mentioned in the series but not shown yet. But as Dokja said, demons can't be constellation, but behind this scary monster constellation or demon one was hiding Uriel, an archangel who supports the absolute good, a more pacific and reasonable side of the star stream. But having her as a sponsor isn't that bad at all. In fact, she has a power similar to Song Wukong the Constellation, considered to be the strongest out of all of them. But Zhuangwon was the one who chose her as a sponsor. And between me and you, I don't think that Uriel wouldn't be a good choice for Dokja, because I think that Uriel is somewhat kind of a saint, if you know what I mean. And someone like Dokja will kill if he needs to, just like how he refused to help King Wom in the first scenario, resulting into a pathetic death. Next, we have Song Wukong. At first, it was like Dokja was praising him with all of those pronouns like the handsome monkey king or the great sage, showing how cool and powerful he may be. But it appears that after sponsoring someone, the player will be granted with power that will be able to destroy a whole army of incarnations with a single swing of his staff, and it could also be equal to the power of Yoon Jin-kyuk, but for some reason he didn't accept his offer for a good reason, and that is to keep the story going by having the sponsors or the constellations sponsor the right characters and move on with the story. Let's not forget that Dokja is not the main character of this story, but more of a guide or a prophet to the main character, that is Yoon Jin-kyuk. And as a webtoon reader and not a light novel one, I think that it will probably be the other way around eventually. Last but not least, we got the secretive plotter. The reaction of Dokja receiving the sponsorship was priceless, but why didn't he choose him? Well, first off, Dokja never heard or read about him in the original story, so we could assume that he's not a constellation, but someone important in the story, because the only guy who finished the story was Dokja, and he never seen a being like this before. But sadly, we're not going to attack this type of topic today because that is a whole different subject. Either way, we really don't know anything about this character. He's always in his little corner intrigued about any little detail in Dokja's work, like his decisions and actions during the whole journey, leaving us with nothing? Not exactly. I think, personally, that the secret plotter is not a constellation. He is probably something bigger than that, like a god, for example. A god that interfered with the story and created his own avatar to pretend to be what people call a constellation. And this quote-unquote constellation is after Dokja for a good reason, and that is knowing the end of the story and the fate of each and every character there is. Now for the bigger bite of the cake. And this theory, what if the god himself was in the game pretending to be a character? I don't know who could it be, who could this god in question, but it can be anyone. It could be Yunsung or Anna Croft, hell, even Gil-young. We don't know yet. But as the time passes by, we can be sure that really soon we are getting closer to the ultimate reveal of this whole story happening in the first place. Why Dokja was the only one who finished the story, or who is the damn creator of the story that's happening in real life. But let's not forget that the novel has technically 10 other constellations in the story itself that are going to be relevant really soon in the future chapters, like the oldest dream or the father of the rich knight. Constellations that are famous in our world that has a lot, but I mean a lot of power, like punishing their own incarnations by using them or hurting them in any way possible, but they can also reward them by giving them coins super easily, like a Twitch stream. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe for more webtoon content, and make sure to leave your favorite webtoons in the comment. It could be anything, webtoons, manhwa. I'll try to read it and see what I could do with it, or I'll read it and keep it in mind. Because right now, I am really bored after completing Gosu, who's having a season finale. So really soon I'll be making a review on the whole series and how good it is. So with that said, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.